Life is
It's a great pleasure for me to join all of you today at the launch of the Center for Infectious Disease Emergency Response, or CIDER, based at the NUS Yong Loo School of Medicine, as well as the launch of the book Infectious Disease Emergencies, Preparedness and Response. After what I understand to be 3 years in the making, I would like to congratulate Dale Fisher's team for their landmark achievement in putting together a much-needed book that encapsulates the collective wisdom gleaned from the COVID-19 pandemic and other outbreaks.
We would now like to invite Professor Dale Fisher, Director of CIDER and the driving force behind the center, to address us. Dale is an Australian who came to Singapore in March 2003 during our SARS outbreak and is credited with the question,
"Is it always like this?"
Anyway, he loved it so much that he stayed, and we are truly pleased he did.
So many of you have said to me recently and in the past that, it's like COVID never happened. But just let me remind you that there were 18 million excess deaths in those 2 years. Schools on average across the world were closed for a third of a year. Governments lost $16 trillion over that time period. The other thing is the world poverty. It had been having a downtrend. The rates had been falling for 20 years. But during COVID, it reversed. So more people were in poverty. Governments lost a lot of money. There were deaths. There was loss of education. And we mustn't, everyone in this room doesn't need to be convinced, but we, I think, have a responsibility to advocate this message and just make sure that it's not lost. One of the key aspects of the book was that we could have junior authors that could actually drive this and be mentored by senior people. So if I could introduce to you 5 of those authors who at the time were medical students being mentored by some of my colleagues, Javier Thung, Yao Chi Ru, Caleb Yang, Sylvia Fua, and the very special Joycelyn, the one closest to me, who's the one that emailed me one day and said, "Hey, Prof, what about putting together a textbook on outbreak preparedness and response?" So, believe it or not, Joycelyn, as a third-year medical student, I think at the time, they're all doctors now, of course, came up with the idea. So, thanks, guys. Yeah. And we assembled the book. Turn around. So going forward, we're looking for translations. A translated edition can be published online. This book is obviously available online for free, but we'd also like to get it distributed so that people with perhaps poor internet access can access it. So again, I'll just say I know there's a lot of people online, and with these people representing our junior authors, again, thank you. And with that, I declare the textbook launched. Thank you. Thanks in anticipation of the support that you can give. We can raise a little bit of funding through our book sales and course fees, but we beyond startup funds, from NUS, we really will need funding going forward. And to get to the next level that we need. So we want to translate the book. It really needs to be in French, Spanish, Portuguese, probably some Asian languages, Arabic, Bahasa. It'll just reach so many more people if we can translate it and distribute it. Help us please find the right people to do the MSc course. The applications close at the end of April, so there's still time. But if you're from a country that would like to send some young up-and-comer, then that's the sort of person we're after. So we need faculty, we need mentors, and we need funding to amplify and to continue to grow what we're doing.
When you have this resource that's available, and extremely important that it's available online and for free online, because the person in Bolivia who has an outbreak of Chapari fever tonight and doesn't know what to do can go online and get that book and say, okay, here's at least the first steps. It doesn't replace all the other things, but it's the first steps. And that's the way our world works, right? With all these threats, it has to be real time. It has to be immediate. It can't be waiting for someone to fly in. I live in Geneva, Switzerland. Sylvie lives in Geneva, Switzerland. David next to her in London and partly in Geneva. But it can't rely on experts to fly in. There's too many places, too many threats, too many people affected. And so we have to have something that is available in real time. And so the book is an incredible resource. And I'm not just saying that. I've written lots of textbook chapters for lots of different books. I think there's lots of good ones out there. But this is a very important one that I think can be fundamental in what we're trying to do here. I've rarely seen the attention to detail that they have given to this. It's not just saying, okay, here's a course, sure, get someone to speak on epidemiology or get someone to speak on the lab. They're really going through, okay, what is this going to really talk about and what are the important points? And I'm really excited to be a part of that and been part of that for the last week or two and a little bit more this time and be back in July to continue that process. So thanks very much.
This is not just an occasion for celebration, but also a call to action. In an era where preparedness has never been more critical. I've been working for more than 2 decades on epidemic and pandemic prevention, preparedness and response. And I can tell you, it's accelerating. Rapid urbanization, climate change, misinformation, and global connectivity are reshaping the way diseases emerge and spread. At the same time, technological advances from genomic surveillance to artificial intelligence offer unprecedented tools to detect and respond to outbreaks in real time. We must harness this innovation and integrate them into our preparedness strategies. The systems and framework of the past will not be sufficient for the challenges of the future. CIDER is a response to this urgent need. It's more than a center. It's a commitment to strengthening global health security through learning, training, capacity building, and operational excellence. CIDER will equip professionals with the knowledge and tools to navigate this evolving landscape and serve as a hub for developing the skills and strategy required to tackle infectious disease emergencies heads-on. It will bridge the gap between science and policy, between technology and action, ensuring that preparedness is not just a concept, but a reality embedded in every level of our response system.
First, I want to congratulate Dale and all your colleagues for the launch of CIDER and for launching this important book on infectious disease emergencies, preparedness and response. I'm sure it'll be a very good resource. So I know it's a lot of hard work, but it's an important milestone, and I hope your master's program will be launched with a roaring success. Government also have a duty to prepare ourselves for the next pandemic and make sure we learn from the last pandemic. It is important that the international community continues to collaborate on pandemic preparedness. Philanthropic organizations continue to support worthwhile healthcare causes. Researchers and industries continue to work in collaboration with others around the world to develop future vaccines and therapeutics. And this is a global collaboration empowered by digital infrastructure. It's driven by a common mission. Leadership need to translate scientific facts into measures and explain to people. And I think this is critical, and I hope that all governments in the world learn the lessons of previous pandemic and able to display them and use those lessons in the next pandemic. It is our duty as leaders, as scientists, to really get together and understand the next pandemic and respond accordingly.
This officially marks the launch of the Center for Infectious Disease Emergency Response.
As we close today's event, I want to take a moment to reflect on what we have launched today. It's not just a center, not just a book, not just a master's program, but a mission to strengthen our collective ability to prepare for and respond to infectious disease outbreaks. When the next emergency occurs, the decisions that are made in those first critical hours can change communities. So CIDER is built on the simple but essential idea that the best time to prepare is before the crises. What we are building here tonight ensures that those making these decisions are not only better prepared, but are better equipped and better connected. We want to train the next generation of leaders in outbreak preparedness and response to think ahead, recognize the vulnerabilities, and act early. It is also our goal to provide expertise for capacity development that eventually help to shape strategies at the national, regional, and international level. And for this initiative to reach its full potential, as Prof. Dale alluded to earlier, we really do need your help. So send your best people from your countries, your institutions, your teams to train with us and become part of this global network. Engage with us for our upcoming training programs, short courses we may have, and other collaborative events. Fund our scholarships to ensure talented and dedicated professionals are able to access our courses. And finally, we ask that you also help to share and amplify our work together, to spread the word, share our resources, and connect us with the partners who share the same goals. So today's launch marks an important milestone, but what truly matters is what is to come next. The work ahead will be significant and challenging. Real progress takes time, sustained effort, and meaningful partnerships. But through sharing knowledge and strengthening our networks and investing in preparedness, we won't just be reacting to the next outbreak. There is a chance we can be ready for it. Thank you.
Life is